Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Kroy Biermann, a prisoner of Kim Zolciak for 13 years. Alum and former Pro AFL player, Kroy Biermann claims that he was a prisoner of Kim Zolciak's for 13 years. He has been struggling with his estranged wife for over a year now, and it is not getting any easier. Now, she has made some claims about him, but he has his own story to tell. Keep reading for more details. When Kroy Biermann and Kim Zolciak filed for divorce, it was a big shock as they seemed so in love. Not only did he adopt her 2 children from previous relationships, but they had 4 additional children together. From meeting on right away, the couple landed their own spin-off, Don't Be Tardy, and lived a life of luxury. Sadly, they had several lawsuits, owed over $1 million to the IRS, and their home was facing foreclosure. Eventually, they ended their marriage and threw allegations at one another. They did try to reconcile, but that did not fix anything, so they proceeded with the dissolution of the marriage. Things took an aggressive turn, and the police were called repeatedly to the home. Kroy called Kim out for having a gambling addiction and excessive spending. Now, he is trying to force the sale of their home, as she wants it priced higher than he deems necessary. He just wants it sold so it won't go into foreclosure, thus affecting his credit. Kim has since come out and alleged she pays for everything and Kroy wants her back, but he is doubling down on that story. He took to his Instagram stories to share how he feels and his truth. First, Kroy Biermann shared a handful of slides about narcissism to set the stage. Then he explained that he had been a prisoner of Kim Zolciak's for 13 years. More so, he called out the TMZ interview where she claimed, "He said if I ever divorced him, he would destroy me publicly." There were also allegations that their eldest child, Kroy Biermann, pays for more than Kroy does. He now appears to want to speak his truth as he has been silenced for way too long. After seeing Kim Zolciak's interview about her and Kroy Biermann, fans were not on her side in the slightest. They felt that she was the one responsible for the family's downfall due to her various addictions and needed to get a proper job. "Kim, you broke that man," then started playing in his face. "That's because he's the only one who actually takes care of all of their kids. He's a full-time dad." "Yeah, because she drained his bank account. This lady is a train wreck." "Well, I'm sure he has nothing left thanks to you." "Girl, he definitely doesn't want you back. You dragged him down." They do not think that he wants her back, as she claims, and believe Kim drained Kroy dry. So it is clear whatever Kroy has to say, followers are listening. Do you think Kroy was a prisoner or just did not want to leave his children? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. The life of Kroy Biermann, a former professional football player and a pivotal figure in the real-life drama of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, RHOA, has often been overshadowed by his tumultuous relationship with reality star Kim Zolciak. To many, Kroy is known as Kim's loyal, doting husband, the father of her children, and an athlete who seemed to fade into the background of her larger-than-life persona. But behind the scenes, his 13-year relationship with Kim has been anything but ordinary. As the years have gone by, Kroy's life has often been seen through the lens of his entanglement with Kim, a constant battle of love, control, and dependence that has ultimately led to a narrative where Kroy is often painted as a prisoner of his own choices. The beginning of Kroy and Kim's love story. When Kroy Biermann first met Kim Zolciak, it seemed like a fairy tale in the making. In 2010, Kroy, fresh off his professional football career, found himself drawn into the world of reality TV when he began dating Kim, who was already a fan favorite on RHOA. Kim, a former nurse, was no stranger to the spotlight, having built a career on her extravagant lifestyle, drama-filled relationships, and unapologetic self-confidence. In contrast, Kroy was the quiet, grounded athlete, someone who was still adjusting to his life after football and had little interest in the glitzy world Kim inhabited. Yet they were drawn to each other. Their whirlwind romance became a focal point on Our Getaway, and soon Kim was pregnant with their first child. Kroy, who had no children from previous relationships, quickly embraced fatherhood, even adopting Kim's 2 daughters from a previous marriage, and the pair eventually married in 2011. Despite the charming and affectionate exterior of their relationship, cracks in the foundation were already beginning to show. The illusion of control, Kim's power over Kroy. Kim Zolciak, with her extravagant tastes, larger-than-life personality, and the powerful influence she wields over her relationships, appeared to be the dominant force in her marriage to Kroy. While Kroy initially appeared content with his role as a supportive partner, there were subtle signs that he had become entrapped in Kim's world, one where she dictated the terms of their relationship, their finances, and their future. Kim's brashness, her unyielding demands, and her love for attention meant that Kroy often played the role of the silent, supporting husband. He was regularly portrayed on the show as the more grounded, normal partner, but as the years wore on, it became clear that Kroy was not only swept up in Kim's reality TV lifestyle, but was also heavily reliant on her and her career for their financial and social stability. Kroy struggles with his identity. Kroy's situation became even more complicated when Kim's fame continued to grow. As Kim's star on Our Getaway began to fade, she shifted her focus to her own spin-off shows, including Don't Be Tardy, a reality series that centered around her family life, Kroy's role as a father, and their over-the-top lifestyle. Kroy, for all his attempts at carving out his identity, found himself trapped in the shadows of Kim's success, essentially reduced to playing the role of the ever-constant husband and father figure. In this world, Kroy's image as a football star no longer held the weight it once had. His own career trajectory stagnated as he struggled to redefine his purpose. The spotlight, for better or worse, belonged to Kim. She, after all, was the one who was always seeking fame and validation, often using her marriage to Kroy as a tool to further her brand. Yet Kroy seemed content to fade into the background, playing the role of a provider for Kim's lifestyle and her expensive tastes. He became increasingly involved in supporting her brand, even participating in various promotional campaigns, despite his own reluctance to be thrust into the limelight. Financial dependence and its toll. By all accounts, Kroy's life with Kim seemed to be a tangled web of financial dependence and emotional control. Kim, whose career was defined by her lavish purchases, her designer wardrobe, and her obsession with image, eventually found herself in a dire financial situation. Despite her fame, her spending habits began to outpace her income, and her financial situation deteriorated. In a bid to maintain her lifestyle, Kroy was often the one who picked up the pieces, taking on significant debt to support her extravagant needs. This financial entanglement further cemented Kroy's role in the marriage. He was trapped by love, by duty, and by the sheer weight of the financial obligations he had undertaken. The once successful football player, who had earned millions, was now embroiled in a constant cycle of debt, loans, and the need to please Kim. It's said that Kim's need for attention and wealth made Kroy's situation even more dire, as he worked tirelessly to manage her expectations, all while his own personal ambitions seemed to crumble beneath the weight of it all. Kim's control over Kroy's life and image. Beyond finances, Kim's control over Kroy's life extended to every aspect of their relationship. She dictated the terms of their public image, their interactions with the media, and even their personal lives. Kroy, whose personality often leaned toward privacy and a life outside of the media's watchful eye, had little say in how his image was crafted. Over the years, he became synonymous with the role of the loyal, silent husband. It was clear that Kim's influence over Kroy extended into every corner of their relationship. She, after all, was the one with the fame, the money, and the public persona. She orchestrated their reality TV appearances, their public interactions, and often decided how their private moments were shared with the world. In this sense, Kroy's role in the marriage began to feel like that of a puppet, a man constantly maneuvering at Kim's direction. Kroy's silent suffering. As the years wore on, it became apparent that Kroy's suffering was silent but deeply rooted. He was no longer the carefree man who had first met Kim. He had sacrificed his privacy, his career, and at times, even his sense of self to accommodate Kim's needs. Despite his loyalty to Kim and their family, there was a growing sense that he was trapped. His devotion to his children and his desire to maintain his family's stability kept him in a constant state of emotional limbo. His quiet suffering, though rarely shown on camera, became palpable through subtle signs: a forlorn look during interviews, moments of hesitancy when discussing his personal desires, and the sense that he was living a life of obligation rather than genuine passion. In many ways, Kroy had become a prisoner to his own choices, bound by his love for his children, his responsibilities as a father and provider, and his ever-present need to protect Kim from the consequences of her decisions. The public may have seen a happy family on the surface, but behind closed doors, Kroy's own identity seemed to vanish. The inevitable separation. As Kim's financial troubles mounted and their marriage showed signs of strain, Kroy's position became more precarious. The relationship, once full of passion, now appeared strained, with moments of conflict and emotional distance creeping in. The years of control, the financial struggles, and the ever-present pressure to support Kim's expensive tastes began to break down the walls of their marriage. For Kroy, the end seemed inevitable. Yet, even as cracks appeared in their relationship, he remained tethered to Kim, unwilling to abandon the life they had built together. After 13 years, the question remains: was Kroy ever truly free in this relationship? His love for his children and his commitment to their family were undeniable, but one cannot help but wonder if he ever had the chance to reclaim his independence. The narrative of Kroy Biermann as a prisoner of Kim Zolciak is not just one of love gone wrong, but a larger commentary on the imbalance of power, control, and self-sacrifice in relationships that, for all their glitz and glamour, are often far more complicated than they seem on screen.